The following episode of Dave's Video Graveyard contains spoilers and naughty words. Listener discretion is advised.
Have you ever bought or rented a videotape that wasn't quite right? It may have been a pirate copy.
Ratings advice. Use it. It's on every...
We're going streaking!
Dave's Video Graveyard.
That guy in little clothes.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm not a smart man.
Shut up! One tubby.
What's wrong with him?
My first thought would be alive.
Why so serious?
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, Ma! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Of all the radio shows in the world, this is definitely one of them.
Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOWFM.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
It is 100.5 WOWFM, Dave's Video Graveyard. It is a massive pleasure to be with you, whatever you're doing on this warm, I think it's the first warm Monday of the year. It is a pleasure to be with you. I am very excited. I'm joined by a very exciting guest this evening. So make sure whatever you're doing, you stick around for the next 2 hours because it's going to be a doozy. It is a guest choice special once again where we count through 10 of my guests' all-time favourite films. And we are joined right now by the very special Tiffy Texas. Tiffy, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for being here. Now, you've been through peek behind the curtains. You've probably gone through more to get into this studio than any of my guests. You've had a bit of a rough run over the last few weeks. How's life treating you?
It's been very interesting, that's for sure.
Yes. Now, for those that don't know, you've shown up in a full body cast from neck to toe.
Kind of, not quite. Well, definitely I got the foot in a cast at the moment, managed to fracture my foot, not by any exciting means, but hey, still been performing, still been travelling, hasn't stopped me considering changing my name to Terminator Texas.
Nice, that's it. Cannot be stopped. So for those of us who do not know, who is Tiffy Texas?
Tiffy Texas, performing Showgirl, originally from Adelaide, based in Perth. Travelled around, done a couple of competitions now. I did the Miss Nude World Series over in Vegas and got through to the finals there, won the Australian champion titles. That was pretty cool. My most recent competition I won was through the Golden G-String Award at Voodoo. I won the Best Boutique. Can I say that on radio?
Yeah,
Best Boutique? Okay, yeah, Best Boutique Award.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So I'd like to say I'm an award-winning a-hole.
I was going to say, I have pretty much every one of those titles that you listed. I've won myself. So we are on the same... It's great to finally meet an equal.
Not even bad. I'm impressed.
It is so great to have you. So you are a showgirl.
Yes.
You get to travel you genuinely, other than the way the world is now, you really get to see some of the most interesting people. Like, you get to see the best of the worst and the worst of the best in what you do.
100% can confirm.
How long have you been doing it?
So this is my 4th year now in the industry. Took a bit of a break over COVID, but four
since
years.
You were 18. That's insane. Fantastic.
I like that.
Awesome. So, originally Adelaide girl?
Yes. Yeah.
What's it like being back in SA?
I love being back home. It's great. Definitely didn't appreciate Adelaide until I left.
Yes.
So, yeah, being in Perth now definitely makes me miss home. But, yeah, I love Adelaide. It's great. We definitely have a lot better than other cities in the country, that's for sure.
All right. Roll the dice. Throw a dart at a wall. It lands on the map. Where's the weirdest place you've found yourself with your work?
Oh, I'd probably say Carnarvon, Western Australia, which it sounds pretty bad because that was where that young girl went missing from and was recently found. But yeah, actually it gave me chills when that happened because that was definitely up there with one of the stranger places I've been there. Derby, Western Australia, that had a real Wolf Creek kind of feel to it. And apparently there's a bit of it, I don't know, I think there's a bit of a history with the actual Wolf Creek killer and that city, so.
And I do love, and not just because I'm a pervert, I have followed you very closely on social media, not just in person. I followed you on social media, and I find it funny. One week you'll have a photo and you'll be checking into, like, you know, one of the highest class, like, dancing places, and it, like, looks like, you know, $1 billion nightclub. And the next week, it looks like you're dancing in the front bar from the start of Crocodile Dundee.
100%.
So it's every, that is fascinating.
It's very cool. I've got people encouraging me to write a book about the lifestyle, only because
there's definitely a book to be written, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Why stop there? Movie.
Australia
needs more movies.
That would be great. That would be great.
And there's something about Aussie movies and nudity. It seems like a lot of the movies that I watched that were Aussie growing up had a lot of nudity.
Well, we know what's best. What can I say?
That's it. We know what sells. So you were sent the high fidelity quiz a few weeks ago, and you're like a kid that's in trouble that showed up with their homework on ripped up pieces of paper.
Oh, no, I did come with my notebook.
It's awesome. So we're going to get to know a little bit about you when it comes to watching films. So let's get to it. What was your local video store growing up?
You know, it was funny. I had to ask my mum because I remembered it was a Video Easy, but I couldn't remember exactly where it turned out. So it was in Salisbury East. It was near my high school, actually. So, but it shut down.
Shout out to the northern suburbs.
Yeah. Probably explains a lot, really. But yeah, no, so it was a Video Easy out. It was like the Gloucester Avenue. It was like a little shopping that had like a deli.
I know the one, yeah.
Yeah, so they had a Video Easy there years ago. So I remember vaguely going there, and on the odd occasion we'd go to the Video Easy in Para Hills, which was next to the Macca's.
I know the one, yeah.
I remember there was a police station that used to be across the road from there as well.
There's a police station. There's the Bottle-O that's still there till this day.
Yeah.
But it's a lot classier now than it used to be.
What is that pub called? Was it Somerset? Is that the Somerset?
Yeah. I reckon it might be. Yeah. It's out right where basically you go up Kings and it's Para Hill. Yeah, I know the one. The Bridge Road. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember, was there a movie that was a standout for you that you hired all the time, or what were your renting habits when it come to?
I was a creature of habit. I remember I always used to rent pretty much the same. So it was like a lot of chick flicks. They were pretty much the cheesy chick flick kind of things. I remember there's a lot of Raymond Michelle's High School Reunion was definitely one of them.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no. And I remember on the odd occasion as well, I'd go to this Civic Video in Salisbury. That was only very rarely. And I remember they had a different selection of movies there that you couldn't really get anywhere else. They had almost like Jim Henson, but not Jim Henson.
I know what you mean. There was a lot of like mum and pop stores that were bought by Civic. And we've just got a message from listener Jamie, said it is the Somerset.
Oh, nice work.
Shout out, Jamie.
Sweet.
Yeah, there was so many mum and pop stores that were bought by Civic, so their selection was a lot of that lesser known stuff that didn't end up in your Blockbusters and your Video Easies and stuff. Pretend you're a kid, not just at heart. What was your favourite TV show?
I remember being excited to get home from school to watch Captain Planet.
Fantastic choice.
Yeah, I still remember the theme song.
I think the environment would be a much worse place if we didn't grow up watching that show.
True. And Rugrats would have to have a special mention as well because that was pretty good back in the day.
Were you into Widget or, I'm just trying to think, Johnson and Friends?
Yes, I did love Johnson and Friends. I remember even going to those ones, you know, like Baba, Arthur. What else?
The Ferals. There was a lot of great stuff on ABC TV.
Ferals, that was great. Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim. Nice. So pretty much the Fox Kids and the WB.
Yes.
Cheese TV. All right. What was your favourite ice cream as
Always boysenberry.
Yeah, really?
Oh, you can't beat it.
Nice.
With Ice Magic, that is just like the ultimate.
Wow.
The mother of ice creams right there.
That's very tarty and very chocolate all mixed together. See, I'm a basic bitch. It's got to be the Rainbow Paddle Pop or nothing else.
Rainbow Paddle Pop's definitely amazing.
Well,
it's underrated.
I spend my adult years dressed like a Rainbow Paddle Pop, so I got to rep.
Yeah, you understood the assignment. I can see that.
Favorite junk food as a kid?
Junk food. I definitely love Macca's. I was a I was a little fat kid. I remember discovering the Big Mac, I think when I was like 6 or 7, when I finally upgraded from cheeseburger, and I thought it was the best thing ever.
I was a fat kid that went from KFC, so it went from like the Fun Bucket to like a Zinger Tower burger, and it was like, that explains my weight. All right, favorite book as a kid?
So they used to have these like little crime solving series. So I did like Goosebumps, but they had these other ones sort of like Cluedo, but they were called You Can Be the Judge, and basically you had to read this case, and then they would have evidence, and then at the very end of the book, upside down kind of thing, it would explain to you, and so had to solve the cases. I used to love those. And do you remember the old Scholastic book club that you used to order at school?
Excuse me, the greatest time as a child.
Yes.
I used to get Star Wars Galaxy of Fear books, and I was the coolest.
Oh, the best. So yeah, I remember I used to order them through that book club back in the day, showing my age, but...
It also shows why our generation is absolutely obsessed with true crime now, because we grew up basically reading that.
Correct.
Very funny. And your favourite toy as a kid?
Favourite toy? I remember I had this like weird teddy bear thing. It was called a Blushable. I've spent actually quite a bit of time looking them up online since, trying to find them. A bit nostalgic, I know, but there was this thing called a Blushable, and it was like a teddy, but if you kissed its cheek, its face would light up like a nightlight, and I was obsessed with it.
I reckon I had like the worm version of that.
So yeah, there are still the glowworm things, but this one here was only its face that lit up, and I remember I named it Dimitri, and I was just obsessed with him.
Dimitri. He was from the Eastern Bloc. He was there to protect you. Did he wear a Kappa tracksuit with the stripes down the side?
Oh man, I wish.
Very nice. You're in charge of creating a new Mount Rushmore of actors or actresses.
Oh, this one was hard.
Who are you putting on there?
I thought of 3 easily. Drew Barrymore, absolutely love her. She's amazing.
What's your peak Drew as well?
Peak Drew. Oh, like there's so many.
Because she was sexy in Batman and Batman Returns, or she was awesome in The Wedding Singer. It just depends. Or she was cute as Gertie in E.T. It just depends. What?
Do you know? I haven't seen E.T. I haven't seen E.T.
Wow. That's because you're only 21. Like that's understandable.
No, okay. So I loved her even like Ever After. So that was going back some time. The old real Cinderella story.
Yep. You did 1999.
And then like Never Been Kissed was one of my top 10 because I thought that was just awesome. But even recently, like more recently in Blended, I feel like she just never gets.
Everyone hated Blended. I loved that movie.
I love that movie.
Me and my wife
much.
still watch that. I
love it. It's a feel-good film.
100%. I noticed because obviously, spoiler alert, we won't mention any of the other ones, but you did pick Never Been Kissed. So I had to ask, did 10 Things I Hate About You almost make your list?
Yeah, well, that was one of the first DVDs I ever bought. That and Juice Bigelow.
It's funny
how you remember those things. They're like iconic in your life. You like your first CDs and your first like videos or DVDs, depending on the age
First
group.
DVD I ever got, and I'll never forget, was Little Nicky.
Oh.
And the second was Lethal Weapon 4 because it came free with the DVD player. So they're my 2 first ever. It is true though. You never forget. Who else is going on Mount Rushmore?
Okay, Paul Rudd. He is same as Drew Barrymore. I have not seen him do a bad film. He is incredible.
Unlike Drew Barrymore, you don't need to pick because he'll always look the same no matter which one you pick.
I had to put The Rock in there, Dwayne Johnson, because...
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. I actually could not think of a fourth one. Maybe... My dad's not going to like this. Adam Sandler, because he's in a lot of my favourite funny films.
You're in a safe space right now because...
I think he might be listening now too.
It's trendy to turn on Adam Sandler. It's like everyone that talks about film has to talk about how bad Adam Sandler is, but he was very important to us in the 90s.
100%.
All right. Would you prefer to watch a movie at home or at the cinemas?
Always at home.
Yep.
Always at home.
No pants.
No, yeah, that as well. But I have this weird thing where I always like to have a pillow and blanket with me when I watch movies.
It's comfort then.
Yeah, so home for sure.
And when you do go to the cinemas, what is the food of choice?
It's funny because I actually I did look up today where I could find choc tops so I could get you to try this, but I just have to give you the recommendation. So you get popcorn and you get a choc top, you eat off the chocolate. you dip the ice cream into the popcorn and then you eat the popcorn off the ice cream, and it is a game changer.
I've been hearing about all these savage caveman foods that people have been making. The other one is another guest mentioned pouring Maltesers into hot popcorn and it all melts together. And I'm like, think of the people that have to clean the cinemas. Like, that's all I can think about. Imagine leaving the cinemas just absolutely caked in whatever you
But
put.
salt with sweet just works. Same as pretzels with M&Ms. That's another really good one. I was eating chocolate-coated pretzels yesterday, and yeah.
You don't look like someone that eats any of these things we're talking about.
Thank
so
you.
that's
I
a compliment.
appreciate that.
Name an actor or actress you would like to spend the night with.
Okay, so I really overthought this one. I was like, spend a night with as in hang out, or spend a night with
It's
as
your
in...
imagination.
Okay, so then I was like, well, I don't want to discriminate because these days you have to be open to these things. So I actually went one of each options for both sexes.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, so if I had to hang out and just have laughs, I don't know his name, but the guy that plays Dwight in The Office.
Yeah, right. Rainn Wilson.
I would definitely hang out with him.
Wow.
Oh, I love him.
That's bizarre.
Yes, no, that would be, I feel like that would be definitely not a night wasted. That would, yeah. If I had to spend a night in bed with
a
someone,
lady?
with the bloke, I'd go with the Rock. Did you think I was going to say Dwight as in spend a night in bed with?
I did. I totally misunderstood your
Wow.
answer, but that's why I was so like,
Yeah, no.
okay.
Now I've got visuals. And, okay. So no,
The
Dwayne
Rock.
Johnson.
The
Yeah,
Rock.
yeah. And then if it was a female, I'd hang out with Amelia Clark. I love her. She's hilarious, beautiful, and if I had to spend a night in bed with one of them, Catherine Zeta-Jones, just because I think that she is like the epitome of perfection.
A classic beauty for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. See, I'm Selma Hayek over her, but still, Catherine Zeta is very
Definitely
much
the
up
same kind of taste, though, that classic,
Yes.
stunning beauty.
Smoking. Alrighty. A film that didn't get a sequel that you think deserves one.
I shared a meme about this a couple of weeks ago. Mean Girls, someone mentioned about Regina George being the mum this time, and I was like, this absolutely needs to happen. Definitely. 'Cause
That would be fantastic.
It wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'd be going to the movies to see that.
Who would play you in your biopic?
My other half said to say Scarlett Johansson because I do have comments. I don't see it, but I've had a couple people say about it. I would love to say Amelia Clark just because I love her so much, and I think she's pretty funny as well. I think I'm hilarious. So
That's you got to be your biggest fan, because why should anyone else care if you don't?
I don't think we have a problem with that.
Which movie freaked you out as a kid?
Halloween was one of them. My cousins made me sit down and watch that when I was like 11 or 12. But then closer to teenage years, The Ring, and that's still... remember moving out of home and seeing the previews for the second one come on TV, and I was living alone at the time, and just the previews for the second one would just
You're
haunt
ready to
me.
move back in.
Oh, yeah, no, just the thought of it even still, just, nah.
If you were in charge of rebooting a TV show or movie from your childhood, what would you reboot?
TV show, I thought of HR Puff and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Could you imagine it, right? Imagine that rebooted, because...
It is so funny that you say that, because not so much the show, but I had a teacher in high school, very, very serious man, but he 100% talked like HR Puff and stuff when he talked, and I just couldn't take him seriously. It was all like, I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. And I was always like, why do you have to talk like that? He's so just, all I would think of is HR Puff and stuff. So shout out to him. I won't say his name. If you could hit one famous person with a hammer, who are you hitting?
I thought this was a bit extreme, actually. Not that much of an angry person. There's actors and actresses I dislike. The first one that came to mind was Ashton Kutcher.
That makes sense.
I don't know what it is, why people like him. It just seems to be
There's
annoying.
certain actors that look like they stink, and he's definitely one of them. If you could make the entire world watch one movie, how are you going to wield that power? Are we watching something great, or are you going to make everyone watch something terrible?
I actually had a chat with my mum yesterday about these questions, and I have to give her credit for this one because I thought this was a genius answer, really. If the film that we'd make them watch would be Pay It Forward. Just, teach people, try to do the right thing. I feel like
that is
a
bizarre.
movement. It's a movement.
You are the first person, I've been doing this show since early 2017. You were the first person to bring up that movie on this this show.
That's sad.
That is my wife's all-time favorite movie.
Oh, wow.
Now, at the time,
She got good taste.
I really don't like... Well, look at me. Say no more. She loved that movie, and I did not like Helen Hunt at all as an actress, and I was just like, she bothers me so much. But now it's got Helen Hunt and Kevin Spacey, and it's like, oh, it hasn't aged well. But the message is fantastic.
Yes.
It'd be a great basis of...
What's your problem with Helen Hunt? I'm curious about this now.
She's like just boring white toothpaste. There's just nothing about her. Any of her movies that she is in, I feel that just a 2-liter of your generic brand milk could play the same role that she plays.
Wow, your feelings towards her reminds me of my feelings and my dad's feelings towards Sandra Bullock.
That's a fantastic answer.
Entertaining, actually.
Awesome. How much trouble did you have making your list of 10?
Well, I actually, off the top of my head, can say to people my top 5 funny movies, just because, like, the ones that I quote the most and go to. But when I think of top 10 all-round films, I actually had to knock some of the funnies off because in the whole, like, realm of it all, I guess.
Because you wanted to be a wanky film bro, and you wanted everyone to see what a great film bro you are.
No, are you kidding? You saw my list, right? There is definitely, joking. It's so unwanky.
All right. This is the question. These are the questions you don't know about. This is a would you rather. No. And this is for all the fans listening to decide whether they hate you or not.
Put on the spot.
That's it. One or the other. You
Okay.
can't have both, and you have to choose.
I'm concentrating. I can't. My homework's not going to help me
sweating,
now.
No. Harry Potter or Star Wars?
Oh, probably Star Wars.
You don't sound excited about it.
No, I haven't seen... I've probably seen more Star Wars than Harry Potter. And my dad took me to the trilogy. My dad's a huge fan. And so I probably got into it more because of him.
That's great parenting.
Yeah, it
That's
is,
what
isn't
that
it?
is. Yep.
Did well.
Cher or Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton.
Good answer.
Oh, she's my
Shirts
idol.
fit her nicely. Selma Hayek or Pamela Anderson?
Selma Hayek.
Good answer. Pamela gets more votes than she deserves.
Oh,
Lord of the Rings or Back to the Future?
Back to the Future. I've never even watched any of the Lord of the Rings, and I don't
That's
plan
fine.
to.
It's still
Are you a fan?
No.
Okay.
No. But I can't say that as the host. I gotta... Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio?
Leo.
And what's your peak Leo? Do you have one?
Oh.
It's Gilbert Grape, isn't it?
Nah, it's not a popular answer, but The Reader.
Yeah, right. That isn't a popular answer.
It's not, but nah, I thought he was fantastic in that.
Shawshank Redemption or Stand By Me?
Oh, they're both sensational films, but I have to say Stand By Me because I've got it on DVD at home.
DVD.
Yeah, I've got the classics. I like to have the classics.
Edward Scissorhands or Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice.
Predator or Terminator?
Predator.
Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone?
Arnie.
Now here's white milk or white milk. Sandra Bullock or Julia Roberts?
Julia Roberts for Dad.
The Witches or Matilda?
Oh, Matilda.
Good answer.
That was... Actually, I can't believe I didn't put that in my top 10.
That's got to be an honourable mention.
I can't believe I didn't even think to put that in there.
You were this close to us being best friends, and you left it out. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so disappointed in myself.
The Lost Boys or Interview the Vampire?
Haven't seen either.
That's fine. Batman or Spider-Man?
Batman.
Good answer. Will Ferrell or Adam Sandler?
Oh, they're both amazing. Can't I take them both because I didn't take either of them?
You know the rule. Oh, okay, you're gonna trade in.
I'm gonna
a
trade that
vampire
Lost Boys
movie
one
for both.
Yeah.
Right. Deadpool or Harlequin?
I have to say Harley because I get told I'm her.
I get it. Aggro or Cheese TV?
Aggro.
Perfect answer. Pizzas or burgers?
Burgers.
Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters?
Ninja Turtles.
With the burgers, what's your go-to? Chicken or beef?
Beef.
Yeah,
always.
Right. I'm a chicken guy.
Really? Well, actually,
This date's not going to work out, I don't think. And I'm
Why
also married.
Why? Why wasn't there tacos? I'm disappointed there wasn't tacos.
You know what? We'll put an asterisk next to that
Okay.
one. Aliens or Terminators?
Aliens.
Grease or Rocky Horror?
Never seen Rocky Horror, so definitely Grease.
Wow. Pulp Fiction or Goodfellas?
Pulp Fiction is the only one I've seen out of those. And I only saw that not long ago either.
That's fine.
I'm catching up.
Fight Club or Seven?
Fight Club.
The Lion King or Aladdin?
Oh, Aladdin.
Forrest Gump or Titanic?
Forrest Gump, for sure.
E.T. or Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park. I haven't even seen E.T.
That's right.
I haven't seen it. No, I know bits of it, but no, I just never really sat down and watched all of it.
It's lovely. It is lovely.
Is it?
I'd recommend it.
Okay.
All right. If you could take one of your favourite fictional characters and put them in another movie, who would it be and where would you be putting them?
I half did this one, so it would be half a mark on my homework.
It's The Rock in a porn, isn't it?
Well, why didn't I think of that either? Wow. No, I thought it'd be quite funny to get some sort of, I don't know, some sort of natural disaster film. What was the one with The Rock in it? What was that?
San Andreas.
That's the one. But have like Ron Burgundy in it reporting.
That would be brilliant.
Right? I was like some sort of like actual disaster, but have Ron Burgundy as the
I think that's my
anchor.
favourite answer.
Thank you.
Well
I thought
done.
that would be quite interesting. I would definitely go see that.
All right, now it's the opening night of your biopic. Everyone's at the cinemas eating your concoction. There's free choc tops dipped in popcorn all around. The movie starts up. What is the title track to your biopic?
There was two I originally thought of, but I think Money. It's like a remix of that classic Flying Lizard song.
It is. So let's jump into it. This is DVG with Tiffy Texas. Don't forget you can join in the conversation. Dave's Video Graveyard on all your social medias. Let us know everywhere we've gone wrong. This is DVG.
Looks like you're keeping your bod pretty tight. You looking pretty good yourself? Well, every day's a workout when you gotta carry around a 20-pound python in your jeans.
You and your dick comments.
It's fun to say them.
It's fun to hear them.
That's why I say them.
That's why I listen.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOWFM.
It is Dave's Video Graveyard as we start up the 10 all-time favourite films of Tiffy Texas. And the very first one is from 1995. It is considered a comedy classic by a generation. And I knew that Tiffy was a fan of this because when she first laid eyes on me this evening, she said, "So hot, want to touch the hiney." Tiffy, why did you choose Billy Madison? What does this movie mean to you?
It's probably the one that I quote the most. I can't help it. It just seems lines come out. And, you know, there's always those movies that from the start you can quote every single line. And then when you watch that movie with that person, you hate that person. But when you are that person, you're like, this is actually pretty awesome. That's my movie. I could probably quote that from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Like on our movie podcast that we do, we covered the movie Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
And Brad Whitford plays the bad guy, and I wouldn't stop calling him Eric because he's Eric from Billy Madison. And I don't care what movie I see him in, he'll always be Eric to me. And if you offered me $1 million to not laugh, I think I'd do really well until the scene where they're doing the academic pentathlon. And Eric catches on fire and Billy just giggles and claps and points. That makes me cry laughing every time. In fact, if your biopic was made in the 90s, Veronica Vaughn would have played you.
Oh,
would have been perfect.
True.
Showed this movie to my kids for the first time about 2 weeks ago.
What did they think?
It was so funny because they were taking in all the jokes, giggling the whole time. And the funniest thing for my five-year-old was right near the end with the song. And the clown says he's okay.
Oh.
And the relief on my phone, she's like, "Oh, I've been thinking about the clown since that happened. I thought he hurt his ear because it was bleeding." How often do you watch this movie?
Oh, you know what's sad? As soon as you said that, I can hear the start of that. Hey, kids, it's me. Yeah, like I can... Oh, no. Yeah, it's literally running through my head right now. But no, that movie to me is iconic. It's...
There's certain movies that you see at a certain time in life and something about it sticks with you. And you never let go of it. And you'll quote it to people that have never seen it. Like, the amount of... The two big ones for me, like you say you quote nearly all the lines. The two big ones for me, any chance I get, because I'm a larger man, to say that is correct and to lift my shirt off with my arms folded across. That's the
Principal Henderson, yes.
And the second that
Yes, I'm horny.
The second that I always say... is, did the penguin tell you to do this? Whenever I'm fighting with my wife. It is never not funny. It really is the most, I think perhaps up there with Anchorman, one of the most quotable films of all time.
Definitely. That was also in my top, that was in my top 5 funny films, because I think, those two movies are definitely the two that I refer to. And another one that I'd quote a lot is Not Another Teen Movie. And I feel like, because that's a classic, not many people know that movie, but every now and then when I quote it and someone, like my other half caught onto a reference a few weeks ago.
Not only do we look like twins, we have such a similar taste.
That's cool.
I have a vivid memory, and this will age me for you. Year 12, we had what's called the HSC, which is a SACE here. We had a HSC note writing course where a lady flew down from Sydney to teach us how to take notes for the HSC exams.
Okay.
And what we had to do was spend all day, and she would give out bits and pieces of information, and at the end, she wanted us to have notes, and she'd check the notes. Me and my mate Carl didn't think there'd be anything wrong with. We filled up this piece of paper, and she collected them all, and she's going through, and she goes, "Okay, whose is this one?" And she held up ours, and we're like, "Oh, I don't know." And she goes, "Well, the first note says, 'How did you get in my house? The door was locked. There's a giant hole in the side of your house.'" We'd filled an A4 piece of paper just with quotes of Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh, no.
And I, to this day, any chance to say pumpkin tits, I'm saying it because of that movie. Like, it is so quotable. And I made the mistake because we're at the stage now of showing my kids the movies we grew up with.
I love that.
And I was like, "Oh, you guys will love this because there's lots of funny bits." And the opening with the cake and her in a room, I'm like, "We're not watching it." So it didn't even get into it. I was like, "Hang on, I just remembered we are not watching it."
Oh, that's so funny. That's hilarious.
That is a fantastic movie, though.
No, so yeah, definitely they're the ones that I quote the most. But yeah, Billy Madison, definitely my number one. I remember watching it the first time, and it was just like It was just amazing. Like, yeah.
I got around to this one late, so I happily managed to see Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore on the same weekend for the first time.
Oh, you're lucky.
Because I saw Happy Gilmore and loved it, and one of my mates is like, I'm gonna go home. I've taped off the TV the other one. We watched it, and since that day, I've been a huge fan of Adam Sandler. And I'll admit, things like Jack and Jill or The Ridiculous Six, some of the worst movies in the history of the world. But when your good is this good, I can forgive that.
Yes. No, I actually took a few years after Billy Madison to see Happy Gilmore, and then I only saw Waterboy for the first time in the last, I think, couple of years. So it took me a while to get around to those, but you just can't beat Billy Madison. That is definitely up in my top.
Awesome. Well, let's jump in to another movie, and I think we'll be talking about the lead actor, something about the lead actor in this one. See if you can guess the movie.
He rode a blazing saddle.
We've got to protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen. We must do something about this immediately. Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
You watch your ass.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOWFM.
To light the way.
The Labyrinth from 1986 is your next choice. Tiffy Texas, why have you chosen this movie?
I didn't realize it was 86. That's a bit of useful movie trivia information.
Yeah, 20 years before you were born.
I wish. It was actually a year before I was born. So interesting. But no, I loved this movie. I remember watching it as a kid and just being so amazed by it. I thought it was awesome. The storyline, the puppets in it. And
now you can be real because no one's listening. No one listens to the show.
Okay.
The Fire Gang scare you so much as a kid?
The who?
The Fire Gang.
The Gang.
Orange guys that could pull everyone's head off. The Fire Gang. They try to pull the main Sarah's head off. The little orange guys that dance around on fire and stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, that
terrified me as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't recall being scared by them. I just remember that pit that you don't want to...
hands? Oh, the
eternal stench.
Abominable stench, yes.
That there, I remember being a bit like, oh, I remember that was a bit icky, but...
Because I always thought the way that the boulders come up and she walks across them, I'm like, your shoes are still going to stink forever.
True, but no, is it Ludo? He was he was so cute.
Smell bad.
He's like the old version of Sully, I think, from Monsters Inc. I reckon that's where that was the inspiration for that, I reckon.
There's definitely... And when's the last time you watched The Labyrinth?
Only a couple months ago, because that's one of my classic DVD lists. Like, it's one of my DVDs on my classic.
This and Empire Strikes Back were the two movies that me and my sister hired every week at the video store if there wasn't something there. It was only the last few years someone pointed out to me at the start of Labyrinth in her bedroom.
Yes.
Everything in her room is the Labyrinth. So she's got a book of the Labyrinth. There's a painting on the wall that is of a Labyrinth. Like, everything in a room, a little Easter eggs about what she's going to see. There's like a little dog. There's like pretty much every character in the Labyrinth is in her bedroom at the beginning of the movie.
Wow. And I'm just picturing that music box as well.
Yeah, next time you watch it, watch out for that because it's insane. I absolutely live and love the soundtrack of this movie.
Oh, it's brilliant. It is brilliant. Are we really not going to talk about
it
David
is
Bowie's
time
crutch
to
as well?
talk about David Bowie's crutch.
I was like, really? We're the elephant in the room?
It is definitely elephant proportion. I don't think there's any other childhood movie that has more giant crutch in it than this movie.
No, and these days, can you get away with that?
No. Katy Perry was cut out of Sesame Street because her shirt was too tight. She did an episode with Elmo.
Oh,
and they were like, no, sorry, it's not for kids. And it's like, David Bowie, same.
And look at us. We grew up perfectly fine.
That's exactly why we are the well-mannered, leveled out adults you see before you. How many times do you think overall, is this the kind of movie that you've seen like 10 times a year since you first saw it?
Yeah. Oh, I reckon there was a few years where I just kind of forgot about it for a bit, life. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Labyrinth, haven't watched that for years. And then you get back into it again. But like I said, it is on my DVD list. It's one that often will come out if I'm hungover or need a day of, DVD day in.
And a hangover is where you work out so much one day that it hangs over you the next day. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, we'll go with that. That works for me.
Awesome. What's your favourite song from the movie?
Oh, I don't know why. Every time I think of the movie, I just hear the Babe with the Power in my head.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Let's hear it now.
Why not?
This is DVG.
Yay.
And if someone comes up to you with an attitude, you say, eat me. And if you want to shine them on, it's hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, or later, dickwad.
You're listening to Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOW FM.
This is Dave's Video Graveyard, continuing Tiffy Texas's favourite movies of all time. I have a landlord named Josie that is saved in my phone as Josie Grossi because of this movie you've chosen from 1999. Great year. Never Been Kissed.
Oh, sensational film.
Why did you pick it?
It's funny, when I thought of this list, I was thinking of the movies I would most like to watch. And this one was the first one that popped into my head. Seen it quite a few times. Haven't seen it in a while, but it's definitely one of the old chick flicks that holds probably the biggest soft spot in my heart out of all of the old cheesy 90 chick flicks.
I love the take on Not Another Teen Movie where they get the really old lady to play her.
Oh,
and then they do the Cruel Intentions kiss. It is, what a movie. I think perhaps society peaked with Not Another Teen Movie that came out in the same year as this.
Did it?
It did,
there
late 99. I always had a soft spot for this movie. I went on a date to see it for the first time.
Oh, really?
Because, we were 18, just 17 turning 18 in 99, and you couldn't go to a chick flick unless it was with a chick. Those were the rules. So I saw this. I loved it. I thought it was so fantastic. It's probably not a movie that would get made today if an adult went back to high school and seduced a teacher.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
It'd be a true crime
wrong
movie.
with it. Yeah, but I mean, in principle, like back then, the thought of being older, and I think because you sort of resonate a bit. You go, none of us, I think, had a great time in high school. Some of us had to deal with some sort of, trauma or torment. But I feel like that there you kind of like the idea of going back and being cool. However, the reality of it now, I think if I go back, I'd probably be less cool than what I was originally in high school.
It's exactly that Billy Madison thing where he goes back to high school and he's got the rashy swimsuit with the denim. Yeah. More like Boroville.
I didn't finish year 12 either, so...
Nothing wrong with that. This is not an educated
Maybe that is my film. Maybe that is my biopic, me going back and finishing school.
That would be so funny. Teaching Tiffy.
Oh, wow.
That'd be great. Starring Drew Barrymore. It's funny, the teacher she falls in love with, Michael Vartan is the actor's name. He was in an Aussie horror movie that called Rogue and pretty much gets attacked by a giant alligator.
Oh, wow.
Or giant crocodile, should I say, up in the Northern Territory.
I literally just got here from there as well,
which
is so funny.
I was going to say, it would be right on your doorstep at some point.
Yeah.
How many months out of the year would you spend interstate?
From Adelaide?
Yeah.
I would say that in a whole year, I'd be lucky to spend 8 weeks in Adelaide.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm based primarily in Perth, but even when I say that, I'd probably spend maybe a week, a month in actual Perth. Like, I'm more regional. I travel all over. I go everywhere from up to Broome, Karratha, so top end, down to...
Are you just a fan of sweating and not just because of work?
Oh, it definitely helps with the weight. Yeah, I can still eat those Big Macs then and drink beer. That's where the work is. And there's more money out in the mining towns and more interesting stories, that's for sure.
More ping pong balls, more Priscilla Queen of the Desert shows.
Oh, that's definitely... they like it a bit interesting out there. One of the most recent shows I did, we had a male... I don't know how to politically say it. A male small person.
Yes, a little person.
Entertainer, yeah. And then a female extremely large, an XXXL lady. Yep. Yeah. And then myself, so... didn't know whether to take that as a good thing or not. I'm like, it's welcome to the freak show.
Yeah, you're like, what character am I playing?
That's it.
How often do you revisit Never Been Kissed?
I'm actually going to revisit it real soon because it's probably been a couple of years since I watched it. So I feel like it's going to be watched within the next week, I reckon.
Definitely worth it. It's lovely. David Arquette is fantastic in it. We all fell in love with him with the first...
Yes.
I only realised we recently on the podcast did a movie from 99 called Ready to Rumble. It's a wrestling movie.
Okay.
But he falls in love with Rose McGowan.
Okay.
Like, that's part of the thing.
You're only human.
Yeah, but then you think that he played brother and sister with Rose McGowan in Scream, and it's kind of got this weird thing where it's like, oh, we were sisters in that last thing we were in together. Yeah, this movie, it's got a lot of heart, and it's a less celebrated of the chick flicks of the time. Like I said, 10 Things I Hate About You probably gets a lot of the credit that this movie probably could get.
Also, Coyote Ugly.
That really inspired you.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. It was interesting to watch, but I felt like back then I was definitely not thinking that I would end up in this line of work. I was a bit more behaved. It's only been since I turned 30, I just went, that's it. Lifestyle change.
You're a showgirl. You love movies.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on the likes of Striptease or Showgirls?
Yeah, I like them. I don't know. I feel like when it's work, you kind of want to tune out when you're not at work. You don't want to be like I really did not like Hustlers. That new Jennifer Lopez movie, just didn't rate that. But see, Burlesque, I love. I felt it was to look more at inspiration or anything. It was a bit of a feel good movie for dance. I'd go more to like Flashdance or Save the Last Dance is another good classic. For me,
does Moulin Rouge get a run in your...
I loved Moulin Rouge. Absolutely love that movie. Haven't watched that for years either, but definitely rate that one for sure.
It's got nothing but male smoke shows and Nicole Kidman with a giant forehead. Because you got Ewan McGregor.
He was great in it.
John Leguizamo, who are two of the best character actors on earth. What about, were you in love, just like everyone's sister ever was, with Leo in Romeo plus Juliet?
No.
Really?
Nah. I was a bit young for... Well, I saw it, but I was still into Hanson then. I was still... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like... Flushed me up already. That long blonde hair, you know.
There's that work sweat has come back. So obviously the Hanson brothers, but who was the crush? Who was the poster on the wall?
It was the youngest one. It was Zach. I liked him. I thought he was... because Isaac, the oldest one, he was the more weirder looking one. Taylor, the lead singer, looked a lot like a girl. And I mean, I know I can be a bit masculine at times, but I definitely was sure of my sexuality. But nah, I liked the young one. I think
What other posters got a run? Was Nick Carter up there?
No, never Nick Carter. It was always Bewitched, Spice Girls.
Yep.
Hanson. Didn't even like 5 either. Wasn't
Wow.
Yeah, no. I wasn't.
No time for that.
And Silverchair. It was like, it was a bit different, a bit alternative.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny. Like, I love doing this show particularly with the 10 movies. The amount of reflections of the person that someone becomes from what they loved as a kid. It's
100%.
great. I think you've failed if you don't do a bit of that. Like, if you grew up loving something and it doesn't influence who you become, then what's the point of loving it?
Yeah,
you're wasting your time. Anyway, let's get into the next movie. Let's go a little bit modern. We'll go to 2016. This is DVG.
Looks like you're keeping your bod pretty tight.
You looking pretty good yourself?
Well, every day's a workout when you gotta carry around a 20-pound python in your jeans.
You and your dick comments.
It's fun to say them.
It's fun to hear them.
That's why I say them.
That's why I listen.
All the movies, none of the knowledge. This is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOWFM.
It is DVG as we continue Tiffy Texas's favourite movies of all time. It's time to go to 2016, the movie that, although it features one of the worst humans on Earth, we are talking about trolls. And the worst human on Earth is James Corden.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I'll definitely, I won't agree or disagree. I just don't know enough about him or rate him enough. But isn't it sad how excited I got when I heard that preview
When
to
this
Trolls?
movie started, it was like, it's like you weren't enjoying my company. That's how excited you got.
I would know. I love this movie so much. Sad but true fact, this movie makes me cry. It gives me all the feels. You know, when they lose their colour and they lose their spirit, and yeah, it gets me emotional. It's just such a feel-good movie. It's so happy. I love Anna Kendrick. Yeah.
Yep.
Love her. Love the singing in it. It's just, really happy. I'm so excited. I got my niece into it as well. I definitely know all the songs, all the words. Yeah, huge fan.
It is a beautiful film. I'll actually echo that sentiment. It is a movie that's fine to cry to. Because honestly...
You reckon?
When Justin Timberlake sings True Colours for the first time
wow.
and grows his colours, what a moment.
Yeah, no, it is. Have you seen the World Tour one as well?
I actually haven't.
I recommend. It's...
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I love both the movies. They are great. I love that they've even brought out little series as well, so they have other songs. They've done covers of pretty cool songs, so... Listen to the Trolls. It's like the old Chipmunks version, but now it's Trolls version.
Oh, man, we grew up with the Chipmunks Christmas albums and everything like that. I will admit, having kids at the age they are, a lot of these movies are on my radar. This one was special. The song selection in this film is fantastic.
They did very well.
Even when one of the bog trolls is running on the treadmill to the Donna Summer's disco song, it's such a cool song in the way it's used in this movie. So you share this with some young people in your life?
I got my niece, I got her the DVDs of it, and now, she's a fan. So when I go over there, we play the music videos and dance around to them. I love it. It's one of the ones that I watch if I'm feeling when I'd have a long night at work and just, if customers were taking me out of me, I would go home and put on Trolls, and it would just get me back to feeling not so poorly.
That's actually lovely. That's probably the best thing this movie's ever done. It inspires your happiness.
100%.
That is awesome. Well, I think it is time we jump back into a little bit of the music as we continue your list. Don't forget, you should follow Tiffy Texas. Some of those were words.
Tiffy Tetanus, was that?
Tiffy Tetanus.
That's a new one.
It's what you get when you hurt your ankle and you don't deal with it. You just leave it.
Burn.
Yeah. No, make sure you follow. Where can people follow you on social media?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram now. They got rid of my professional page on Facebook. Apparently it was too offensive.
Right. Shadow ban.
So I'm on Instagram under Flirty, Nerdy, Inked and Curvy. It's a bit of a mouthful.
Every single time over the last couple of weeks that I've tagged you in something, I forget the order And so I write...
nerdy.
But no, it
Curvy.
actually reveals the pervert I am because any of those words brings up about 10 different accounts. I'm like, it's none of these. Then I write in Tiffy Texas and first one. So
Yeah, not bad. No, I'm also on Snapchat. So there's Tiffy Texas 87 and the old, good old Only Hams.
Only Hams.
Only Hams.
Good times.
Good old steamed hams.
This is DVD. 100.5 WOW FM. It is not Dave's Video Graveyard for the next 5 minutes. It is, in fact, Tiffy Texas's graveyard. We are talking to our host this evening, Tiffy. What's going on, host?
Just another night, another day in the office, No, I was curious. I just wanted to know, do you ever get asked questions by your guests?
Not really. I'm not interesting enough for anyone to ever care.
You don't reckon?
No, I'm never getting questions.
Okay. Right. Well, when I was in the shower getting ready for this, I did have some things pop in my head that I was like, I'm just curious to know.
A lot of my guests do say that they think about me in the shower. So
well, we're only human. What do you
That's
can't
it.
blame us.
That's it.
No, I just had a few questions that I just thought might just be interesting. Like before I said about, Billy Madison being one of my top quoted movies, what would be your top 3 quoted movies? What are the top 3 movies that you would regularly quote?
Step Brothers.
Okay.
Would be number 1.
Yeah.
Secondly would actually be Not Another Teen Movie.
I did
for
think
sure.
that.
I'm trying to think what else. Billy Madison gets way more of a run than I'm realizing because anytime I find something, especially if I find a friend, I'm like, here's a nice pizza. And that's the quote I use for seeing my friends. I don't know. It's Step Brothers is number 1. Pretty much anything with Anchorman.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering if Anchorman would get a mention.
Anchorman 2, just one particular scene that's actually an outtake. It's basically when Ron Burgundy is blind. I don't know if you know the scene. But I'll have to tell you off air because it's definitely not for radio broadcast. But there is one scene where Ron is explaining something he did and it just gets dirty. They never got through the scene because it just got dirtier and dirtier to where they couldn't film the scene. And also there's another show that had Eastbound and Down that had Will Ferrell in an episode. And they're doing this really tense scene and they kept stuffing it up and giggling the whole time. And they just the blooper reel is amazing because he's supposed to say, if I recall correctly, and they finally get through it to the point where like, listen, we can't laugh, we're going to get it. And Will Ferrell says, if I remember correctly, and stuffs up. And I don't know why, but I say that constantly, so that gets a run.
I like it.
Yeah, but basically we're very similar. Not only do we look so similar, but we are very similar in the movies.
Amazing rags.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rack attack here on DVG. Now, I think... Do you have any other questions?
Yeah.
What else were you thinking about?
I'll throw one more at you and then I'll let you take over because I feel like I'm not doing as good as what I originally thought I'd be doing at this.
No, you're nailing it. You're the host.
Say, you know how the death row thing, you get one last meal, right? What is your last movie? You only get to watch one more movie.
What
movie are you going to watch?
Oh, that's a fantastic question.
Thank you. I thought so too.
Yeah,
feel free to take that, and feel free to.
That is on the list.
Whatever questions I haven't remembered over this, I will flick to you.
I'm going to watch. Yes, I've got it.
What one is
I'm going to watch the movie Cats with James Corden. Because the end of my life will seem like years. It'll seem like an eternity sitting through that damn movie.
I thought you were about to say like death would have seemed like a better option. So you'd be like, I've already got this to look forward to.
No, it'd feel like, like in Interstellar where they go to that other planet and 1 minute is 7 years.
Yes.
That's what it's like watching James Corden in anything for me. So yeah, I'd prolong it. If I had to be genuine, it would probably be From Dusk Till Dawn because I'd leave the world smiling.
Okay, I like that.
Or probably something that makes me laugh every time. So your likes of Step Brothers or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you lowered your chair to the weirdest?
It keeps lowering on me. I was waiting for you to notice.
It's so bizarre because I'm like, hang on.
Yeah, I'm going to try and gas it this again. All right, let's see. It's
awesome.
interesting in the moon boot doing this too. There we go. Look.
What else? What else has the host got for me? Is that-
Least favorite genre of movies. Like if someone's saying to you that they're going to put on this kind of movie, and you're just like, "Oh, get me out of here." What?
I know it's stupid to say, but black and white movies just shit me.
No,
I've just got no time for them.
Oh, wow.
However, if it's genre, it would be like period dramas, and period meaning like back in the day, not what
what we watch when we're at our most depressed state of the month, when we're like,
I mean the likes of Pride.
I'm just going to put on The Notebook.
Pride and Prejudice, and like Downton Abbey type movies.
Okay,
they're not for me. So
yeah, very cool.
Let's get into your next movie, I think.
All right, let's do it. You did well, actually. Yeah.
Thank you. 2012. I didn't realize this movie was as old as it is. You know the super attractive brunette in this movie, Tiffy Texas, the not the main one, but she's like. See if I can find a photo.
Yeah, can you? Hot
it's that one. It's not a very good photo. That one.
Her. Oh, yeah.
Her. Yeah.
She's the real naughty one.
Yes.
I was about to say something else, and then I was like, I probably can't say this on air.
The very naughty one.
Yeah.
She is married to Ryan Phillippe from Cruel Intentions.
Wow.
That's his wife, and he's a lucky man.
Yeah, fair enough. But he also went from Reese Witherspoon, and she was pretty amazing too. So
yeah, but I found that, and this is being not a nice person. Her accent, the more broader and higher pitch it gets, she now sounds like Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, no. And now that you've said that, I probably won't be able to unhear it. Thank you for that.
Pitch Perfect, Tiffy Texas, your all-time favourite movies.
Yeah,
this has made the list.
100%. This would be in my top 3 all-time movies. I love this movie so much. There is never a bad time to watch it. And it's funny because I didn't actually see it until, I reckon it would have been 2017, 2017. So it'd been out for a few years. Had a best mate of mine say to me that I need to see it. He's very much into like the Glees and the Pitch Perfect. So he kept going on about this movie. I thought, oh, here we go, musical. And then when I finally watched it, I was amazed. And it's because of this movie I originally wanted to say I wanted Rebel Wilson to play me in my biopic because she is hilarious. She's my level of hilarious.
If you took me back to 2006, 2005, and you told me that
back when I was more Rebel Wilson size.
If you told me that Tula from Fat Pizza was going to be one of the most famous Aussie actresses of all time, I would be like, there is no way that is happening. In fact, given the lovely establishments that you frequent, surely you would have crossed paths with the Fat Pizza crew.
I've actually been taken to the Fat Pizza shop where they filmed. And I've had a few people say that I should have put my hand up for Bogan Hunters, which I don't know whether is that offensive or a compliment. I wasn't even sure how to take that.
I don't know. It's a different world now, so it's hard to know how to take things like that because, you know, I was a chauvinist with the best of them back in the day, like Bloke's World. That disappeared.
Yeah.
These were all things that were celebrating a certain subculture of Australia.
I did love Howzos, though. I thought that was hilarious.
That reflects...
Not on me. Not on me.
I was going to say...
Please.
No. I was going to say, like, that reflects your childhood in the northern suburbs. However...
Yeah, Salisbury East.
Yeah. Shout out. No, it is... Because I was like, surely... Because you've been all over Australia, like, danced with the best of them. And I'm like, well... They seem to go all over
the
Australia.
Worst of the best. I like that. That's literally me. I said that when I got invited to Vegas. I was like, it's okay. They need someone to come last.
Hey, you got to stack the card. What? So are you a fan of all the a cappella, like the Glees?
You don't actually know. I don't watch Glee at all. I just thought the soundtrack to this was phenomenal. I really love like one of the scenes in the movie. You've seen the movie, yeah?
Yes, I have.
Okay, cool. So remember the riff off? I thought that was brilliant. How that game where they bounce off of each other with songs and they have to basically meet with a word, carry on by a song, and it's just I thought that was sensational. The end performance makes me happy cry. Like the whole.
Is that Cups? Is that the end performance?
No,
that's her. That's her audition.
That's her audition. Yeah,
yes.
No, like you know the end performance because you know how they have the same routine they do over and over. The one where she throws up at the start, which is so funny.
Yes.
But then she changes it, does those like DJ special things and, you know, mixes up these different tracks together. They have a whole new routine, and then at the end they take it to these nationals, and it is just a mind-blowing performance. Surely you remember it. It literally gives me happy tears.
It is fantastic. I was disappointed with the sequels.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
The start of the second one was so funny.
It is funny though, like you watch
that Amy, remember? How can you forget the leotard, the tights, like?
But you watch the first one and they're like the sorority sisters, and then the second one you realise that they're all like 10 years too old to be in like uni to begin with.
Yeah, you can see that, but no, the music in it was great. The performances were awesome. There's a really hot shower scene that I have to mention as well. Remember that shower scene with that redhead?
Would it surprise you if I told you, yes, I do remember that scene?
I'm not surprised. I think any warm-blooded animal would remember that scene. It was pretty awesome. But I actually think her version of, was it David Guetta's, is Titanium, wasn't it?
Yes, Sia's, David Guetta and Sia.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. I remember the first time I watched that film was on a flight, and I had headphones on, and I had goosebumps when she was in the shower singing that, and then that hot redhead walks in, and anyway, let's change the subject.
Because it's getting really warm in here.
It is. You turned off that air conditioning too.
Let's get into, I reckon we'll play a little bit more music as we continue the top 10 of all time. Don't forget, you should follow Tiffy Texas on all your social medias that you can find her, including the hams. Let's get back into the music. This is Divi G. It is Dave's Video Graveyard, Tiffy Texas's favourite movies of all time, and she has chosen one of the most underrepresented Disney films of all time, I think. You have chosen Lilo and Stitch. Now, I remember the movie, but more so, on a Saturday morning, I used to love the animated series of this show because it was the best continuation of the movie.
I'd have to agree with you there.
Why did you choose this movie from 2002? It feels way older than that.
It was just, for me, it was iconic. The animation, the soundtrack also, for me, I love Elvis. Not as a person, love his music. But I love the soundtrack. It was just another feel-good movie. I love Stitch. I thought from the moment I first saw him that he was the cutest thing in the world. And like as I just showed you, I have him tattooed on my body. So
yes.
It'd feel a bit silly not. It's funny actually because I've got another movie tattooed on me. A couple other movies tattooed on me and they haven't made the list. So
yeah, right.
Whoops.
Give us some mentions.
I've got Dirty Dancing. I've got Patrick Swayze. And I've got Baby. Yeah, they've got them on my leg. I've got the Rose from Beauty and the Beast. I've got The Little Mermaid on me. There's a few movies actually now that I think of it. But Lilo and Stitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Disney girl.
Yeah, just a little bit. But no, Lilo and Stitch is definitely my favourite Disney movie. Yeah, I think especially for the 2D animation. I mean, I know like the computer animation stuff's great. Like I did love Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Cars was probably one of my favourite ones of all the computer animated, but nah, Lilo and Stitch by far the best. The whole family, you know, it's two sisters. It's not a love story, which I like because I feel like a lot of Disney movies are love stories.
One of the coolest things I remember when this released, because at the time, they'd obviously 95, 94, they'd done Lion King. They'd just gone from strength to strength all through the 90s. Then around like, you know, I reckon 98, 97, they started churning out some stinkers. So you got the likes of Balto and White Fang and all these movies.
Didn't watch any of those.
Yeah, exactly. No one did.
Yeah.
Then in 99, I think they brought out the Iron Giant and everyone's like, yeah, we're back on board. Lilo and Stitch was, the way it was marketed when it came out, I remember vividly because I'm a fat kid and they had a KFC meal. But more so, they used all the Disney characters to do cross-promotion of this movie. And one that always stuck out with me, there's actually an ad where the Little Mermaid is singing in the ocean and a wave comes over and it's Stitch, yeah?
Yeah.
Stitch surfs a wave over the top.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
And she basically says, I'm singing here. And because he's singing as well. She goes, I'm here singing. And he's like, too bad. And it was the coolest cross promotion.
Oh, wow.
And it made me so interested in this movie. And like I said...
That's actually clever marketing, really.
100%. This is one of those Disney movies that's, like it's probably the least brought up. Like I think people bring up Mulan more than they do this movie.
I actually, when I worked in the tattoo industry, I came across a lot of Stitch tattoos. I hate to sound unoriginal, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the most tattooed Disney characters. Cause
some of the websites I frequent, quite often there's pop-ups and it's always like Lilo's sister in a grass G-string. And I'm just like,
Nani.
You won't last 40 seconds. I'm like, yeah, I will, because I'm not into cartoons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
42 seconds. Thank you. How often did you revisit Lilo and Stitch?
When I first saw it, I did have it on DVD, so I would watch it probably every couple of months, really. It'd be on the regular rotation.
Yep.
It's been a couple of years since I've watched it. Actually, no, it's been a year, I think, since I've watched it. But that'll be another one that I think will make it back to the regular rotation.
I'm just wondering if my kids have seen this movie. Like,
really?
We've done the classics. I have this because I have a video store in my garage, a literal VHS video store in my garage. And we have family movie night where on a Friday we'll go out and the kids will pick a movie. And
you're doing it right.
I've got a section that's just all my childhood movies and Disney classics. And I know that Lilo and Stitch is out there, but I don't think it's come up yet.
Wow. Well, you need to put that on your on one of your next to play lists for sure.
Definitely. 100%. Because it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I loved the series of it as well. It followed more so the agent that's after him.
I've read some really cool conspiracy theories as well online about just about how the agent, how he apparently knew Lilo's parents that died, and so his mission's actually he's like
he's to oversee them.
I'm trying to remember. There was quite a few cool conspiracy theories about it, but I've also come across a few of the naughty references, and they are quite interesting. It's funny because I feel like it is an underrated movie, but I feel like she was also very overlooked as well because it was very much about Stitch and then a little bit about Lilo. But yeah, then you find out that people have got a bit of a thing for Nani. That's interesting.
It's definitely a thing. Man,
the hot single mother type. I don't know.
Bizarre. Yeah, no, this is good. So obviously with your tattoos, you're a huge fan of a lot of the Disney classics.
Yeah, I feel like it's a childhood. You know, they kind of raise you a bit. They teach you about weird things. Like,
it's funny that the best parents are the ones that did the least parenting.
True. Yes.
You said that, not me. You
were just telling me. It's funny because my parents are listening to this right now. I guess that'll be another bullet.
You just said off air. You did just say off air that you want me to invite your dad next time to do an Adam Sandler fan show.
Oh no, it's more Sandra Bullock. Bullock and Adam Sandler. Oh man, I can hear him loading up the.
You said that he wanted to do a Sandra and Sandler special.
Sandra and Sandler, I like that
special. So
wow.
I'm not sure what that's about, but I think it's time for another song. We've got a couple more movies to get through. Don't forget to join the conversation. Dave's Video Graveyard on all your social medias. This is 100.5 WOWFM. It is DVG as we continue the list of Tiffy Texas. There we go with Clueless as she took a big sip of water and almost shared it with the entire class.
Oh, that whole boys balls flying at the nose, that got me. That really got me.
I don't understand it. Can you explain? I don't get it.
Really?
No, I'm good. Clueless from 1995, starring my childhood crush. For every handsome poster you had, I swear I had an Alicia Silverstone.
She was my favourite actress for years because of this movie. She was sensational. I follow her on TikTok. Have you seen her?
I follow her on TikTok.
How
and the other
good
day,
are her videos.
Someone straight up said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yes." And my heart skipped a beat.
Oh my god! And she has the cutest son as well.
Yes.
And she features him. What, you're not into? I totally saw your face and was like, yeah, the son, like he's some sort of obstacle.
Get out of the way. No thanks.
No, she was amazing. But I think that's where my crush on Paul Rudd developed as well, because he was pretty hot in that, and he hasn't aged since.
No, definitely haven't. Just burping up your water. Don't draw attention to you burping on the mic.
I was trying to get away with that on the sneaky, and you had to mention that, did you? Next time I'll just fall like bloop.
Why did you pick Clueless?
For me, it was pretty iconic. It was a staple movie for me growing up. I remember watching it when we first got Foxtel back when I was in, I think, 2nd or 3rd grade. So, yeah, and I remember watching it and just thinking it was the coolest thing ever. It was one of those things that aired on Showtime quite often.
Yes, it did.
So, yeah, I just used to watch it all the time and remember having friends over and getting into it.
I had this taped off of Showtime, and then when you changed the channel... Oh, no, sorry, after the movie finished, because remember when you used to tape thing off Foxtel...
You'd have to pause as well for the commercials. That was like the trick.
If you changed the channel, it changed in what you're watching. It wasn't like old school TV. And I remember vividly the credits start rolling of, because I was taping Clueless, the credits start rolling. I changed the channel to Channel Red at the time, before it was Channel V. And it was the song Coco Jumbo by Mr. President. Oh. So I always used to I always associate that song with this movie.
That's actually quite funny. That's showing our age now with the whole recording off of TV. But did you used to pause for the commercials, or did you leave? Oh, okay.
If it was a late movie, or if I was putting in a 3-hour tape, because I had a VCR in my room for my birthday when I was like 94, I would go to bed. I'd slide in the 3-hour long play tape and tape late night SBS for reasons, because there was soccer on sometimes, and I like to watch soccer.
Okay.
I still get excited when I see subtitles. But yeah, so I used to tape. If it was something I was watching, I'd pause out the ads. If it was late night, I'd just let it run. But I'll never forget taping, what movie was it? It was Broken Arrow with Christian Slater and John Travolta. And I forgot to unpause after the ad break. So I lost like half an hour of the movie.
Oh no, you'd be spewing.
Times were tough. It was, it was hard out there on the street.
This conversation's literally just reminded me of one of the other questions I had for you. Did you ever have a movie as a kid that you weren't allowed to watch? That you remember your parents were like, no, you cannot see this movie?
There was 2 that my entire family went on for years and years and years about you were not allowed to see this movie. So when I finally saw them both, they did not live up to the hype.
Oh,
One was... I was told for years by my auntie that The Exorcist was the scariest movie of all time.
Okay.
So then when I saw it, I was like, this is boring more than it's scary. And the other one was Silence of the Lambs, because Mum and Dad went and saw it at the cinemas, and it messed Mum up.
Okay, so you had scary ones.
The other one, though...
Do you have any naughty ones?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
My auntie taped Rocky Horror Picture Show off of the TV for me.
Yeah.
And it was a half-hour movie. And it never made sense to me why the most famous song from Rocky Horror, being the Time Warp, wasn't in the movie, and I never understood. Turns out my auntie had paused out all the sexual innuendos, all the sex scenes and everything, making it a 30-minute movie with like 2 songs in it.
Oh,
it
bless
never made
her cotton socks.
Yeah, because it used to be the elevator came down, Tim Curry did the Sweet Transvestite song, and then the movie finished. I was like, this movie makes no sense.
Wow.
What about you?
There were 2. I remember, which is funny.
It's amazing because your parents are listening right now.
Yeah,
that's what I love about this.
It's so good, and they're really cool. I have like the coolest parents, so it's quite funny. But I know that they had my best interests at heart. So I remember we weren't allowed to watch There's Something About Mary when that first came out, or when that was on Foxtel, I guess.
Yep.
And it's funny because we went to a dress-up party and my mum gelled our hair up and my dad attached silicone to his ear, and we didn't actually understand the reference at all until later we finally got to see the movie. It was like, oh my God, you did this to us. You did this to us. Which now I think is a parenting win. But the other one, I remember being at a birthday party and they were playing American Pie there. And me being the good girl that I am, I remember actually going up to the parents and being like, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to watch this movie. So I sat in the other room with the parents while all the rest of my friends were watching American Pie. And I think like a year or 2 later, I finally got around to seeing that. And same thing, I'm like, really? This was all I was missing?
That is so
disappointing.
Incredible. That is pretty funny. Yeah. And then it was funny though, when because I used to be allowed to hire anything I wanted at the video store at a certain age. And Mum would used to like pull up out the front of the video shop. Me and my sister would go in. I'd pick like an MA-rated action movie. And Mum would have to come in and give them like permission.
Oh, wow.
Finally, she wrote a note saying just let him have anything that's not, not pornographic.
Did
just
she write the note?
She did.
Did she?
She did, but that opened up just this world of... That's when I saw From Dusk Till Dawn for the first time. And
Okay.
I was like, this movie makes me feel feelings. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting thing.
Oh.
You have one more movie. We have 6 minutes, believe it or not.
The things we can do in 6 minutes.
10 times. Your final movie is Super Troopers.
Oh, save the best for last.
Have you seen the second one?
No.
It's horrendous.
I was worried that you were going to say... I was worried that was going to be the case because it's nothing worse than having a sensational film like that and then bringing out something really disappointing. So I probably won't see it if it's really that bad.
It really is that bad.
But the first one... Oh, come on. That's another one that's just great for quotes.
It really is. And, I... Actually, it was just after high school, there was a friend of mine had a fancy dress party, and I tried so hard online. Car ramrod. Read it.
Say it.
I tried for years to buy you can actually buy the bear costume.
Oh, no. Oh,
and I want it so bad. It is amazing. You know my favourite part of... What's your favourite part of Super Troopers first? You are the guest.
If anyone says shenanigans one more time... Oh, yeah, that's up
What's
there.
the name of that restaurant with all the shit all over the words?
Oh, you mean shenanigans?
My favourite is when Father gets taken off of suspension. So he decides he's going to play a trick. And what he does is put the bar of soap in the coffee.
Oh.
And no one will acknowledge it. And he just keeps going on and on about... And the boss gets so annoyed, he pulls it out of the coffee, bites it and spits it on him. And that just, it resonates so funny with me. But I love all the Broken Lizard guys. I love all the movies that they did. Like a lot of people didn't love them. I know I think it was Club Dread was terrible. But they did Beer Fest and
Yes.
which are just as good. But nothing ever comes close to how funny.
Super Troopers,
They're actually working on a movie now, and it's a comedy version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No way. Tell me it's Father. I would love him to be Quasimodo.
I think it is. It's called...
Ursula!
It's called Quasi, I reckon.
Oh, really?
Good friend of the show, Jamie, let me know about it. It's going to be good.
Wow. That sounds really cool.
Awesome. So, honestly, that is... your all-time favourite movies, all there wrapped up in a nice little bow.
I know, right?
It's so awesome of you to join us.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
I've been fantastic.
You have been sensational.
What do you got coming up?
Well, I'm currently waiting for Western Australia to open their border and let me back in.
So you're going to be spending your time standing
so
at the border
hang
just
here
knocking?
for a little bit. Just hang around in my moon boot. Looking to go to... I'll actually be going to Darwin in a couple of weeks and... we'll be dancing no matter what, so making that happen. And then come back for Christmas and my birthday, so a bit excited for that.
Lovely. Come back here?
Yeah, I'll be back. I always spend Christmas and my birthday here, so...
Well, I'll be checking for an invite to the birthday.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's on Christmas Day.
What are you getting me for Christmas?
What am I going to do for Christmas?
What are you getting me for Christmas?
Oh, what am I getting you for Christmas? A bug catcher.
No. I don't know what that means, but okay. Awesome. Tiffy Texas, one more time, where can people check out everything you got going online?
You can find me on Snapchat, Tiffy Texas 87. I am on Instagram, Flirty, Nerdy, Inked, and Curvy. You can even look me up on Facebook. You can look me up, Tiffy Texas. And on the old Hams page, you can find me.
Which links from the Instagram.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I hope you've had fun.
It's
been
a ball.
quite
Thank
the
you.
journey. And of course, if you missed anything this evening, this episode will be up on YouTube within a week. So just look for Dave's Video Graveyard on WOWFM on YouTube and you can find it. Of course, while you're online, give Tiffy Texas a follow. She's almost as good looking as me.
Almost.
I think I rock a tank top just a little bit better.
I reckon I'd rock a ginger beard too.
You could. You're welcome to this one. Anyway, we're going to go out on a song that you said just is a big part of your soul and your heart. So Tiffy,
Okay.
thank you so much for joining us. This is DVG.